Hello and welcome back to another KF2 server tutorial. In the last tutorial, I've showed you how to get your server up and running and how to get the basic configuration down so that you could play with your friends. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use the graphical interface that just popped up on the right actually here, which basically allows you to control your server in an easier, more user-friendly way through your browser. But before we get to connecting to it, let me just tell you what we're going to do in this video. We're going to be going over the whole server admin program here that you see on the right. We're also going to be learning how to install custom maps that you can download. And as an added cherry on top of the cake, I'm going to be showing you how to open up your server to accept more than 6 players, be it 20, 50, 100 players, whatever your computer can handle and your network can handle before going in a nuclear meltdown and killing all your relatives. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is once you start your server, make sure that here it says web server created, and then it will tell you your local address. Once you see this, you can go to this specific address, 192.168.1.109.8080 for me, and you want to paste that into your browser. .80 and column 8080. If you type enter and this shows up, you're in the right path. If it doesn't show up, it means your web server is not active. You can go back to my other video and I do explain there how to activate the web server. It's a small thing in one of the config files. Now, once you're here, it will ask you for a username and a password. The username will always be admin, and the password we have set last time, in case you don't remember, it will be under KF game, config, and PC server KF game, and you can find that password that you should have set last time right here, admin password. Mine is 12345. I'll go ahead, put in my password. You can tell it to remember you so that in case you close the window, you don't have to re-log in every time. And then you can just go ahead and log in. Once you're logged in, you will see a server info page. This page basically shows you whoever's connected to your server, what wave they're on, the difficulty, the players, how many spectators, everything about your server at a glance. I've found that this page tends to automatically update. Usually, sometimes it does glitch out, so you might want to refresh it every now and then. But one thing that never glitches out, or at least from my experience, is the player number in the top right box up here. This is usually up to date whether you refresh or not. You also have a chat console at the bottom, where if you type anything in here and hit enter, it will show up in the game as admin saying whatever you want. So if you want to tell something to the group of friends you're playing with or whoever you're playing with that you're maybe restarting the server or something like that, you can do that without going into the game and just typing it in here. The change map tab, located on the left with all the other ones right here, allows you to quickly change the map on the fly and the game type. Right now we only have one game type since we are in beta, which is the survival, and we have a couple of default maps, which is Biotics Lab, Burning Paris, and Outpost. So if you want to change the map on the fly, bam, you can click it right there and do change game. This will change the map right away and without having to restart the server or whatever. The next tab is called Players. This will show you all the players in your server, and if there are any connected, will allow you through 2 or 3 buttons and a drop-down menu to either ban them, kick them, mute them, whatever you want to do with them. The passwords tabs allows you to set a game password. This password will basically be assigned to your server, so whoever connects, if you do set a password in here, so if right now I go ahead and put in 12345, my game password will change to true, which means that whoever wants to connect to my server needs these credentials to be able to connect. If I want to change my server to be back to not having a password, I just leave these two fields blank and I save it. And as you can see, it goes back to false. The administration password is the password you put in when you want to log into this graphical user interface. So from here you can change that. For example, my password was 12345. The default one was that. Now I can change it to 1111 from here, save password, and I've changed it. Real easy. And again, this is basically, you can do all this stuff from the config files, but you don't wanna. This is much easier. The session bans page basically shows what players you have banned for this session. The banned IDs is where you would go to if you wanna ban a player that might be trying to always get into your server by changing name, whatever they're trying to do. This basically enables you to ban them with their unique Steam ID, which you can see from the Players tab right here. Steam ID, it will show up. So if you ban them from here with their Steam ID, they will never ever be able to reconnect to your server unless you let them by unbanning them. You can also import bans. I haven't tried this yet, but I'm guessing what you can do is upload some kind of text file or whatever it may be to a URL, and then once it's there, you can paste it in here and import it. I'm not sure, so don't take my word on this. I haven't experimented with this. Actually, look, you can export them from here and probably then put them under a URL and something like that. So it's a neat feature if you're changing servers or computers, whatever. You don't want to migrate all your files, you just want to export your ban list. The IP masks, I have no idea what these are. I'm sure more experienced users will be able to tell me. That would be awesome. I have no idea what these might be. I could take a guess, but it would be a very stupid guess, so I won't make a fool of myself. And then we have the settings. So the general tab will have your server name, which in my case is killing tetas, which means killing boobies in Spanish, which is quite fitting. And you can change your server name from here, so it could be Killing Floor Madness. And you can choose to either save these changes to this game instance that's going on right now, or if you just do save settings, it will just save them once it changes maps and reloads the server. The connection tab allows you to put in a maximum idle time until the player gets kicked, maximum amount of players, and again you can choose whether this is applied right away or not. The cheat detection, you probably want to leave this enabled unless you're experimenting with friends with cheats in the server. The game tab allows you to change the difficulty from normal, hard, suicidal, and hell on earth. Custom values will allow you to change it, but again, it's the same values basically. It's 0, 1, 2, 3. Just use the predefined values. Those are the ones that work the best, to be honest. The game length you can change from here, and team collision. So if the team collision is enabled and I run into one of my friends or whatever players, I will not be able to go through them as if they were a ghost. If it's disabled, I will be. So that's a choice you can do. The administration tab allows you to choose whether the admin can pause the game and whether to announce the login of an admin on the server. The map voting allows you to choose whether map votes are allowed at the end of the game, how much time you give the map votes, and what percentage it needs to go through. Kick voting, similar to map voting, except you're allowing kick voting, and again, what percentage of the people need to say, yeah, this guy's an asshole, kick him. And the chat tab, basically, you can choose whether to have a public text chat and whether the spectators can talk to people, and also whether the VoIP is enabled or disabled. Now, my tip for the VoIP setting is if you're trying to run a server with 100 people, turn this off, especially if your bandwidth is barely enough to keep up with the the amount of people you have on the server, because as soon as someone will try to talk to each other, it will eat up the bandwidth and you'll start lagging. On to the next tab, game types. This is where you can change the amount of time that it takes to, for example, once everyone clicks on ready in the lobby, it takes 4 seconds for the game to start. You can choose whether pickups are enabled or disabled. The ready up delay, you can change that. You can change the end of game delay. So basically all the timing settings are in here. Now I will go over map cycles after I've gone over everything, because here is where I want to show you how to put in custom maps. So we'll skip that for now. The server actors, you don't need to touch this for now unless you're a modder or you have experience with this stuff. This is basically to add server actors, which could be anything from mods to stuff like that. For example, the mod I'm going to show you to go over 6 players will be listed in the server actors. The management console is basically to send console commands directly to the server, and hitting execute will send them over, like changing difficulty, things like that if you want to do it through the console. And the Webadmin settings are all in here. Things like, you know, you can hide the news, you can... It's mostly, to be honest, it's mostly useless stuff in here. I mean, you can log the chat. It's nothing too important for the server. This is all about what you see in these windows. You can choose, you know, if someone tries to log into your server more than 5 times, your Webadmin server more than 5 times and screws up the password, they can't try anymore. I'm guessing their IP gets banned. Things like that. I haven't really played with these. I haven't found the need to. Now let's go to more exciting things. Map cycles. So the map cycle is divided in 2 sections. One of them is the map list selection. So you can create new map cycles from here. And this allows you to have different map cycles, and they're all switchable from here. The second thing is the editing page. Now I'm editing my map cycle number 1. I only have 1 cycle since there's not that many maps out there yet. But this is where you edit all your maps. So you can clear all your cycle. You can add missing maps that are in the list. This will automatically add them over. And you can manually add. So for this example, I'll clear my list. So now you may see available maps are these. Map cycle has none. You can either drag and drop them over, or do add missing. It will add all of them, and then you can just drag the maps around to reorder them, reorder the cycle. Now this is all great and dandy until I try to add a custom map to this cycle. How do I do it? You know, it doesn't show up in the available maps even if you have it in the right folder. Well, I'm gonna show you how to do that right after I show you how to install a custom map. So here's what you want to do now. I will put a link in the description to this map. This is the KF testing map. It's a really great map if you want to try out weapons, try out classes, maybe level up a little quicker, whatever you want to do. This is to test things. And it's a great map to mess around in. So you're just going to want to click on download. It will download the map file. Once you have the map file, you want to go and take it out of your download folder. I'm going to take out the one just for simplicity's sake. So you want to copy paste this into, so you want to go into your KF server folder, KF game, brood PC, and maps. And in here, you want to make a folder with the name of the map. In this case, it's testing map. You want to double click and paste it in there. After you've done this, I think I left a space in there. After you've done this, for simplicity's sake, just do as if you're about to edit the name and copy this section without the extension out. Like that. You're gonna need it to add it to the list. Now, as far as installing it goes, this is all you need to do. You need to go to your maps folder, which is under KF Game Brood PC Maps. Create a folder with just the name of the map without the KF, and then put your map in there. Now you're just gonna want to go back to your Webadmin page and do in your map cycles, you want to click on add missing. No, sorry, my bad. Manual add. And you're gonna type in what you copy pasted earlier, which is the name of the map with the KF in this case, but without the extension. See? KF testing map. Put it right here, hit OK, and boom, there it is. It will have recognized it. Now you can drag it around and it will be in your map cycle. If you only want to run a server with one map, just take out the other maps. If I only have KF testing map on here, that's all my server will run. Even after a game is over, it will restart and just keep running this map. Once you do save map cycle, it will save the cycle, and as soon as you restart your server, it will run that cycle. Now, I've showed you basically the main parts of the Webadmin server, and I've showed you how to add a custom map. Now, as one last thing, I'm going to show you how to make your server be able to have more than 6 people on it. Now, to do this, the first thing you want to do is click on the second link I'll have in the description, which will lead you to a Tripwire forum. You want to click on the download link, which is right here, and you'll see a RAR file will download. All you want to do is open it up, and you're gonna want to do a couple of things here. The first thing you want to do is put the kfmaxplayers.u in your KF Game Brood PC folder. So KF Game Brood PC, all you need to do is drag it all over in here. Bam. First step done. Second step you want to do is take your kfmaxplayers.ini and put it in your config folder. So again, KF Game config, and put that in there. Boom. And the next thing you're going to want to do, still in this folder, go in your PC server -KF Game and edit it. And what you're gonna do is find, and I would just use Control F to do this, find KF Game .engine. No, wait, kfgame.kfgame.engine, which is somewhere in here. There it is. kfgame.kfgameengine, right there. And you just want to add at the end of all this stuff that pertains to this field, before the space here, just hit enter. So you still have to keep the space between them so they don't screw up with this guy. And all you want to do is add these 2 lines, which you can copy paste from the link I gave you. Bam, copy paste them in there and you're all set to go. You want to close this, save it, and to check that it all worked out, go back to your main server folder and restart your server. If the server says set new max players 32, it's been a successful mission, ladies and gentlemen, and you can now play with a bunch of people, as many as you want there to be. If you want to change the amount of players now, the easiest way to do it is kfgame config and kfmaxplayers.ini, the new config files. This is where you'll put in the maximum amount of players. Forced max players 50. Now if I save this and I restart my server, you'll see that it will say max players 50. So that is basically it. If you run into any problems, let me know in the comments. I might be able to help you. If I am, I'll be more than glad to do so. And I hope you have a fantastic night or evening or morning or if you live on Mars, there might not be a morning or an evening. So wherever you live, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.